Hello everyone, this is Mel here. Welcome back to my Let's Play video for Dungeon Degenerates as a role-playing game. So first of all, apologies for the abrupt ending for the first video due to my camera issues, but not a lot has been missed. Basically, our character here, the Solitary Swordman, managed to finish his very first quest in Pigskin Port, where he helped this character that is posing as a vermin hunter to establish her role in the Pigskin Port, and in return he gained himself 3 lucks, and that will bring his luck total to a total of 6, which is also the maximum that he can carry at this point of time. And he has to do that by, first of all, sneaking into a guild merchant's house to steal some documents in order to blackmail that merchant to vouch for this vermin hunter, which he failed miserably. And at the end, he has to rely on brute force to intimidate that merchant into vouching for this vermin hunter character. So I think that was a generally really successful section. It lets us learn a little bit about this character, our Solitary Swordman, which I'm still reluctant to give him a name, because we know that whenever you name your role-playing game characters, they will soon die a horrible death. But we'll see. We'll see if we will give him a name later on. So I think that was generally a good time to end our very first role-playing game phase, and we can go back to the normal board game phases of Dungeon Degenerates. But before we do that, I do want to roll on a few things, because that will help us establish what we're going to do. And the first thing I do want to do is to check on the general goal of this character, Solitary Swordman, because we want to know what he wants to achieve in life and why he is traveling in the Borderlands. So let's roll on that. As usual, I'm going to roll these d6. The green ones will be the columns and the red ones will be the rows. So let's see. 4 and 1, and that will be maintain status quo. Okay, not very useful. That means that he is not having too much ambition at this point of time, so he's just drifting around, doing odd jobs here and there. So in that case, that's fine. We'll let him do that for now, and I'm sure that will change when he do more missions. So in that case, we will need to go back to the normal game phase, and for those of you who have played it, you will know that there are generally 3 phases. That is, first of all, the map action phase, and that follows by the danger phase and the encounter phase. The map action phase is basically where you choose to go to a different location or rest at your current location. And I think based on what we have done last time, intimidating a guild merchant in Pigskin Port, and also because we don't have any wounds, so we don't need to rest, it is worth us leaving town to stay under, probably that merchant will send out some of his guards to find us after what we've done to him. So it's time to leave town a bit and do a bit of traveling. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go to the Watchman Tower, because that is a closed settlement. That is also a port, and we will see if we can do anything there. So I'm going to take the bold stance, which means that I can do a forced march through these rows directly in one turn to Watchtower. But what I will need to do is do a constitution test to see if we get fatigued. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to travel all the way to Watchtower, and the first thing I will need to do is to check if I've can pass the Constitution test, which we have a Constitution of 7, which means that we have to roll 7 or less. Oops. Which is 8, which we failed, which means that we get fatigued, and it means is that we can no longer do another forced march until we recover, so we rest in a certain location. So I'm going to put this token over here, signaling that we are now fatigued. And that concludes the map action phase, and what we need to do next is to go to the danger phase, which means that we need to draw and resolve a danger card. And let's see what we get. Stone Circle. Horrid swarm creatures raid and vandalize the sacred megaliths at Stone Circle. And what that means is that, first of all, we need to increase the danger level for that location by 1. It is currently a level 2 settlement, which means that it will need to reduce to level 1. And the second thing is we need to check the danger level on the card with our current level, which we are at the Watchtower, so we have a level of 3, which means that we will need to trigger the encounter and also the enemy that is signaled at the bottom. So obviously we will play with only one character, so we will have one monster. But let's first see what encounter we are going to have. So we are in the Highland. So let's see what we're going to have. So this is an immediate resolve immediately action encounter. So we need to do this before we fight the monster. And obviously, because we are in a location that is without the symbol, so we will just do the top side rather than the bottom side. So a burning carriage. It is an encounter with bandit. So screaming in the distance, call your attention to a group of refugees under attack and hopelessly outmatched. Will you defend or ignore them? Okay, so some refugees are under attack, and I guess we will do the we will try and defend them, because we are a solitary swordsman, and always have that kind of Clint Eastwood image of this character, with his if you look at his look, his cape. So I think we'll do it, not for anything, not for for justice, but just because we can. We're good swordsmen, so we're good at hunting bandits when we need to hunt one. So let's see what's the actions. Defend. Roll d6. So let's roll that. Which we get a 6. And what that means is, if we look at the 2-6 ones, the fires signal more assailants. Bandits and heretics in this place have summoned. If you win the fight, increase the town level at Pigskin Port. Okay, so let's solve the remaining of the danger card, which is one monster. And let's see what we encountered. Okay, so this is our first encounter, a mutant scum. And you can see it is a bandit, which means that it will also get the summon skills. And for those of you not played it, there are 2 different types of skills for monsters. The ones on the black column or the backs. So the ones in the black cell will be the arrival abilities, when they will be triggered once this monster is being drawn. And for the other actions at the bottom, they will just be the standard abilities when basically when the monster action, they will be triggered. So this monster has the annoy and the summon that comes with the encounter that we have. So let's see what that means. Okay, so the two monster standard abilities are going to be annoy and summon. So annoy means that if you're being targeted by this monster, you must use guard stance. You cannot use assault stance. And for summon, that means if this monster is still alive at the end of the first combat round, draw a monster from its stack and add that monster to the fight. So basically, if we don't kill this mutant scum within one turn, he will call some of his friends. And obviously this is targeting our Solitary Swordman because we are the only character in our team, so we can only use God Stance as well. So I'm gonna start the combat and we'll see how it goes. So first of all, as mentioned, we will have to use the God Stance, which means that we cannot use the power dice, which is these green dice, to use it for attacked purposes. But other than that, we just roll the dice. So we are going to use our two weapons that we have, which is the fancy saber and also the enduring dagger. We can use it on both hands because these both one-hand weapons. So what it means is we can use the abilities on both of these weapons, and both of them uses agility, which is what we're good at. We have an agility of 8. So in order to hit, we will need to basically roll 8 or under. And in fact, in order to defend, we will also need to roll on agility, which is 8 and under, which is relatively easy for us to remember. And obviously some of these actions will be triggered depending on the situation. If we use the luck to reroll a power dice, add 1 to the value of the rerolled dice, which we might not need it. Also on top of that, we have our 2 skills that one of it comes with the character and one we spent some experience point to learn, the counter and find weaknesses. So find weaknesses is something that we need to spend a turn, a combat action, to make an agility to add to the target, which will basically inflict additional one damage, which we're not going to do because we will try to finish off the mutant scum in 1 turn. So as for the counter, it only matters when we roll a 6 on our power dice, which will basically means that we will inflict 1 additional piercing damage. So how it works is, in this game, is that we have to roll all these dice to see if we can defend or attack the monster, and we're gonna roll both the green and the orange die under 8 because we'll use that same agility to defend and attack. So let's see if we manage to do anything. Okay, so to understand what it means, first of all, the orange dice will be the attack die. So what it means is, because it is a total of 7, which is under 8, which means that we're successfully attacked the monster, which will attack by 4. And because this character, this monster only has 4 in total, which means that we can kill it in 1 hit. But at the same time, we need to check if the attack pierces our defense as well, which in this case, it didn't, because we roll a 5, which is under 8. And what we can do is use the higher dice as the defense roll. So basically in this case, we defended by 4. So we didn't take any damage, and we also completed in finishing this mutant scum within 1 turn, so there's no summon being triggered. And what we get as a reward will be 1 value of EXP experience and also 1 gold. So that's pretty good result. So we managed to save this little group of refugee from the bandit attack, which is pretty good. and I am also going to indicate the experience that I'm gonna get. So again, 1 experience, and I also gain additionally 1 gold, which brings us from 2 to 3. Okay, so that concludes the phrase that is the encounter phrase, which is the encounter and the fight. So we are back to our role-playing phrase, which is pretty good because we are in the watchtower. Watchtower. So actually, one thing as well, because we managed to complete defending the bandit attacking the refugee, that also means that we will bring down the danger level for the watchtower location to 2. Okay. So inside this watchtower, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what kind of facilities or what kind of locations that we will have in this location. So I have these location generator table in my little booklet, and I'm going to roll on the settlement table and under Highland, because that's where the yellow area, which is where we are at the moment. So I have obviously these 2d6 tables. What you can do, there are 2 things. So first of all, you can just roll and see what you get as the location that you see, or you can roll 2d6 and say anything under that will be available for visiting. So let's see what we have. I'm going to try the second method. So, not very clear. 5 and a 1. So in this case, I'm going to say that anything under 5 will be available. So we have a trading post, we have a tanneries workshop, we have a slave market, and we also have a madman corner. Okay, interesting. So I'm not sure what we're going to do, but let's see. I'm going to roll on another table, which is the what you will normally see in any role-playing game, which is random event tropes. And I'm going to again roll on the settlement table in Highland and see, what is going on in the watchtower settlement. 4. Okay. That is a weird purge. Okay, interesting. So for those of you who play this game, you will know that in the Highland, which is this area, there has been some basically a curse from a wizard that makes things weird. Basically everything like a building will become alive. So think of it like the Ghibli studios animes, where like a tower can become like a living being, or generally anything can become a living being, and it is what people call weird in this location. And obviously, if you think about it, there would be tensions between the existing residents and these new living beings, and sometimes there will be some purge going on, so people will try to get rid of these weird monsters or weird creature living beings, and that's basically what happens in Watchtower at the moment. And in that case, I don't know if we're going to do anything, but I think we might actually want to visit the Madman Corner, because that is where the people that are impacted by these blight or these weird people will stay in that corner. So we'll probably go and do some investigating and see if there's anything we need to do. So First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what characters I am going to encounter. So I have picked the next character card that is unused. So this is the unlicensed surgeon. Okay, interesting. Obviously, if you want, you can read the background of these characters to see what is going on, why she's being prosecuted. But in this case, I'm not going to use those. I'm just going to say this is an unlicensed surgeon, and she probably come up to us with asking us for some help. And in that turn, we are going to roll on the quest generator tables. And again, we're going to roll the green die and an orange die in that order. So protect and 5. Okay, so that will be escort NPC from your location to another location. Okay, interesting. So let's see where we need to escort it to. So again, we have the region and the location table. This will be a D6 table for the region and D66 for the exact location. So I'm going to first roll and see which region we're going to go to. 5, which is the current region, which is still Highlands. And the next thing we're going to do is see where in Highland that we need to escort the entities NPC to. So this will be a 43. That will be the Temple of Madness. Okay, that doesn't sound good because Temple of Madness is all the way at the top, and it is quite a dangerous location. You can see the danger level is 5, and in order to get there, we basically need to go back to Pigskin Port and go through maybe the bandit camp, or go through on the left hand side, but I don't think we can go through the left hand side because it goes to the tunnel of terror instead. And yeah, so that we can basically go through the slaver's past. So that's interesting. What it tells me straight away is that this unlicensed surgeon want us to escort her to that location for whatever reasons. Interesting. And we obviously also wrote on the previous random event tropes, which is a weird perch. So I suspect there's something to do with that. Maybe this character is, I don't know, trying to protect some weird creatures. But in that case, I guess the first thing that we want to do is check how difficult is this task. So again, we'll go back to the task level and see how it goes. So I'm going to roll D6, go 2. So another troublesome quest like the one that we had last time. So it's not too difficult. So I guess we might do it, but first of all, we're going to ask the question again on what kind of rewards that we will get. So let's see. Okay, NPC follower. Okay, gain a follower. So I think based on what we have rolled, what it tells me is that if we successfully helped this surgeon, so instead of escorting this surgeon, I would say that we need to help her escort some weird creatures to the Temple of Madness for whatever reasons. And then in return, she will become a follower of us. So she can help us on doing tests and so forth. For, I don't know why she loves all these weird characters or weird creatures, but you know, to each to her own. So I guess we would do that. So I guess the first thing in that case is we definitely need to help gather these weird, because they're getting purged. So the town folks definitely don't like them. They will attack them on sight. So we need to find a way to hide them. And I guess also I do want to check what kind of weird that we will need to escort. And one thing that we can do is, because we know that in the Highland Monster deck there will be some weird characters in there. A monster with the weird keywords. So I'm actually going to draw until I find the first weird, and that will be the character that we need to escort. So let's see. So bandit, no. Oh. Right, okay. So interesting. So this is apparently the weird construct that we need to escort all the way to the Temple of Madness. So a fighting outhouse. Okay. So interesting. I'm not sure why we need to escort it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be very difficult as well if you need to escort an outhouse, that smelly outhouse, out of town, out of plain sight. So I don't know what we're going to do, but I'm going to put this aside so that we know that we need to bring this fighting outhouse with us all the way to the Temple of Madness. So I think in that case I'm gonna find something that is probably I need to find some like a carriage, so that we can put this weird outhouse on it and cover it with a canopy or something, just to, you know, so that people don't know what is under it, although that might not stop the smell. So in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if there's any location that I can go to look for things that can help us. So as previously we have rolled 5, so it means that everything from 5 and lower will be available to us, which means that we can go to the slave market, we can go to the tannery's workshop, or we can go to the trading post. Okay. I think I'm going to go to the trading post, because I think that is the place where we can buy ourselves a carriage, and in that turn we can put this outhouse into there and see how we can get out of the town. So obviously we have 3 gold. We don't know how much a carriage gonna cost, so again this goes back to the role-playing the general rules, that obviously it depends on how you want to handle gold for items that is not in this game. One of the ways of doing it is, as I mentioned, you can simply pull the next loot card and use that as the gold level, or the value on that card as an indicator of how much it's gonna cost. And that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna just pick this up and see how much it is going to cost. So 2 gold. Okay, so I'm gonna put it at the back so we know that we have used this one. And okay, so a carriage gonna cost 2 gold. I don't know, is this surgeon gonna worth 2 gold? As a follower, unlicensed surgeon, which probably is, because she is pretty high level on morale. Yeah. Okay. For now, we will do that. I guess we'll just buy this carriage. So there's no test required. I will just bring it down to 1. So we have this carriage, and we are going to put this fighting outhouse on it. And I think it is time to do our very first test, and that is try to sneak it outside of town. And in that case, we will do the quest test. And I think this is going to be a, let's see. Okay, I think this is going to be a sneak and hide test, which is an agility. And because this is a troublesome task, so it will need to be a 2+. So we'll see how it goes. So we have an agility of 8. And we'll see if we manage to sneak this outhouse with construct thing outside of town without triggering any suspicious from the town guard. So let's see. Ooh, 7. Just. Obviously, this is under the agility of 8 of our character, so we've success in that action. And also because the higher d6 is 6, which is higher than the 2+, it means that we successfully completed in sneaking this fighting outhouse outside of town. And I think I'm gonna end this video here. So before that, I am going to put down the 2 quest progression over here, and I am going to also put down the quest token at the Slaver's Pass, sorry, not Slaver's Pass, the Temple of Madness, to notify that we need to bring this this weird outhouse, escort it all the way to the Temple of Madness. So that's it for this video. I will come back to this gameplay video next time. So I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.